Hey class, so now I'm ready to start animating. So what I'm going to do is open up my timeline. And it's pretty simple. I go into Windows, Window, Timeline, and I'll have my layers down here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on the landscape layer first. Okay. And I want to make sure that I have these two layers converted into shapes. So to do that, you're going to do Control, click down, and you're going to, you want to make sure that it's converted to a smart object right here, which it is already. And you do the same thing for your sky layer as well. So those two are already smart objects, and I want to start animating. So I am going to click on transform for my first keyframe. And what I'm going to do is just zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. I want to start at this size, and I actually want to make this mountainscape a little bit bigger so it looks like you're actually coming into the photograph. So I'll go to the end of my timeline. Let's make this. Okay. I'll go to the end of my timeline. I'm going to select my landscape layer and just want to make this a tad bit bigger. I don't want to go too big because I don't want the animation to go very quick. So just a tiny bit. So I just want the viewer to go in just this much. Okay. Now, once I hit return from the transformation effect that I have going on right now, it's going to create a keyframe right here. So now, if I hit spacebar, it's going to render, as we can see with the green, and then it'll play back at the normal speed. I don't know if you can really tell, but you are kind of zooming in very slowly, and that's because it's taking a little while because it's rendering. But once that's done, then we'll be able to view the animation in its true speed. Okay. Almost there. Okay, so this is the effect that I want. Just to slowly zoom in into the landscape. So all I did was make it a little bit larger and just did 2 keyframes for the transformation layer. Okay, so now that's good. Now what I want to do is I want to close out the landscape layer and I want to go to my sky layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a small transformation animation right here. So I'm going to click transform to apply a keyframe. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up like this, just go slightly up. I don't want to go too much because I want to make sure this is still a believable speed that I'm going at. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to take my timeline cursor and I'm going to go all the way to the end of my animation right here. And then I'm going to do Command T to select the sky layer, and then I'm just going to go up like this. Like that. Hit return, and there's your keyframe. So now I want to render this. Okay. I'll just hit spacebar for the animation to render. Pretty easy, simple, quick. I just want to make sure, you guys, that we know how to create animations like so. You can do this in several different kinds of layers. It could be something as simple as a landscape or an oceanscape or just a regular image of a house with a background of a sky or anything really, a nightscape. But I want to make sure that we know how to create animated GIFs in Photoshop because I think it's important now in today's culture when we're using them as online greeting cards or memes or even GIFs to send to people. So I just want to make sure that we have that one down. And I don't want us to just think, Photoshop is just for all those different kinds of effects we can use on still imagery. No, Photoshop has a lot of different capabilities, and creating animations is one of them. So this is how our animation looks like. It's subtle and has just a tad bit of movement to it. Something believable, like that. I might actually want to slow down the sky a little bit because I'm noticing that it is going up a little too much. So what I can do is slow it down, and the way I do that is just, I probably won't move it up as much. So I'll delete this keyframe right here. Okay, I'll go down to the end of the timeline. And I'll just do a smaller movement like that. Okay, so it's a lot more subtle on the eye. I don't want to go too fast because remember, we're bringing in the viewer at a slow pace. Okay, so that's the whole point of this, is we want to make this a believable landscape, almost like you're selling this postcard view of where you're at. Let's say you're on a trip somewhere, you take a photo and you'd like to send this to someone. So you want to make sure it's believable. Let's say if you don't want to do video, so this is another option. So let's just wait and see until the render finishes, but our animation should be done. Simple and just using 2 layers. Okay, so that to me looks like it's more believable, just changing the speed a little bit. Okay, I might need another round of a layer of render, but this is what it looks like. And I have it on loop back, so it'll keep continuously repeating itself. Okay? And you want to make sure loopback is checked. Okay? That way when you save out, it'll keep playing. Right? That's it, you're done. And then what you do is you just save it out. And I will see you guys in the next video on how to save your animated GIF.